met her at the bar. She used to be a bar manager at Bonefish here in Newport News, and I would go up to Bonefish on Wednesdays.
That's Sean.
They had this special. They had like $5.99 or $4.99, $5 shrimp, like bang bang shrimp. I would go up there, not every Wednesday, but just about.
It was every Wednesday.
I work some Wednesday. I make sure I miss one or two. But she was a regular, so when I walk in, right, she knew what I would get. When I walk in, before I even sit down, she'd have my drink on the table, on the bar.
A Heineken and a double shot of Hennessy.
And that's Rylan. The two of them fell in love over bang bang shrimp.
So what did we used to do? Well, our first really big moment, our first real date, we drove to the parking lot right outside of Hayashi, and we talked until like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, just and listen to music, like real chill. And then after that, our spot would be Smoky Bones. He would get an 18 count of flats, fried hard, with his drink of choice, and he wouldn't share, and I would have to get my own. So we would eat there.
And it was during these parking lot hangs that Sean shared stories about his past, growing up on the streets of Newport News.
I contributed to the statistics of what Newport News is, or what Newport News used to be. From violence, from drug activity, to quote unquote high numbers in the red zone area. I contributed to some of that. As that child, that young man that didn't have a mentor, that didn't have any guidance.
In addition to discussing the past, they processed what was going on in their lives currently. Sean lost his mother during this time, and he had a major injury on the basketball courts that left him temporarily incapacitated. Oh, and all this was happening during COVID.
And at that time, I was dealing with my own health challenges. We had both been through some traumatic things, individually and together.
Together, they would discuss the things that brought them comfort. For Sean, a lifelong athlete, it was getting back on his feet. At first, there wasn't much he could do.
I was training at my house on the deck. Then that grew to Huntington Beach, which is right here connected to the James River Bridge. Then I would go and use the parking garage that's up in City Center. So my bro, he would come on. Me and him played together at Warwick High School for Coach Rylan. He was like, bro, I think you can go take it to the next level.
Sean had really zeroed in on his workouts, and his friend had noticed. He was suggesting Sean start at gym.
I was like, well, help me find a building. So he would be actively looking. I would be actively looking. He drove past one day, like, bro, I think I found it. Meet me over here. I'm right here by the Daily Press. Come meet me. I came over here, we looked through the windows, we called them, just like that.
The space was his and hers. Part of Sean's dream was to train athletes at a high level. He'd built a system to concentrate on speed, power, change of direction, agility, and mobility. He wanted to consistently place high school athletes on college teams. His dream was also to make amends. Rylan was part of that dream too, and she had plans as well.
Prior to us getting together, I got my certification to be a yoga instructor. For me, it was really important. I have a mental health background.
Rylan was convinced that these tools could help, but Sean still needed convincing. Or at least, that's what he let Rylan believe.
I would literally sneak. I would close both doors, and I would literally sneak to do yoga.
Because he wouldn't do it with me. I would be like, just try this. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, okay.
Like, I'm in my house. I'm sneaking to do yoga. Like, I turn some music on, like, just try to keep normal sound. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fall or do nothing crazy. I'm like, this is crazy. Look, we got to communicate, babe. I've been sneaking doing yoga, and I need some more guidance. But after sneaking it a few times, I'm like, hold up. I ain't hurting like I was hurt. Like, this works. So that, like, we started doing it together. I was really more like ashamed of my limitation of like my range of my mobility and the pain still. But it helped. Like, the pain definitely started just easing down. I'm like, as an athlete, If I went to therapy and they kicked me out of therapy after 11 months and I started doing yoga and I'm feeling better within 8 weeks, this is what athletes should be doing.
Together, they have developed a holistic program to train all ages, from high school athletes to elders, and it's helping their minds as well as their bodies.
One day, we had one of our other coaches refer a local college athlete to do yoga, and I like to talk when I'm flowing with them. I said, this is like you're in your living room with a bunch of friends doing yoga. We don't have to chant, we don't have to be quiet, we can talk about what we are feeling. For people that are new to yoga, I always say, you could feel nothing, which is fine. You could feel everything, which is fine. So we were doing hip opening postures, and at the end, I always do a grounding guided visualization. And at the end of the session, I could just see tears streaming down his face. He was trying to hold them back, but I mean, it wasn't just like a teardrop, it was just like a downpour. And so after, always, how did you feel? What did you see during the meditation? And this person said, all I could see was my son. I did not know that this particular athlete had a child at home, and he was down here trying to make a better way. He was like, I miss my son. I miss my son. Not only was he missing his son, but he was angry about his life and the trajectory of his life and certain things that had happened. And so I said, well, you feel like screaming? You want to scream? Looked at me like I was absolutely insane. What do you mean scream? And so I said, we're going to do some scream healing. And so scream healing is when you use your breath, you inhale your arms above your head, and then on my count from 3 to 1, I make you scream out loud. So I did it. Of course he laughed, but when he did it, you could literally see the emotion release from his body, the anger, the frustration, the overwhelmed. And at the end, he was like, I feel good, but I feel like dizzy, like I feel lightheaded. I said, yeah, because you've been holding on to all that stuff for such a long time. But after that day, not only did he come back, but he brought like 4 other team members with him. Like, can they come? That moment, I think, is one of the moments that sticks out for me. Is like, I'm in the right place.
To do something like Be Great Fitness here, Newport News, is needed to build a staple, to build a safe haven, to build top tier training, nothing gimmicky. It means that much to fill that void. We created something that's of substance. The city was lacking and we needed it. In what we call a desert. There's nothing down here remotely close to this. Not in terms of structure, but it don't exist. It don't exist here. Downtown Newport News. At all. This is the closest gym to downtown. And I'm right here at the bridge. You know what I mean? Like, it should be 1 million of these. We can go uptown. There's 20 gyms uptown. We go to Norfolk, go to Virginia Beach. They everywhere. But here in Newport News, it's truly a desert, so it means that much more.
This space provides a safe container for people to release physically and mentally. And it's a representation of everything in Newport News is not always bad.
Visit our website, truthbetoldcommunity.com, to find out ways to get involved and share this episode with friends. This series was written by Jackie Glass and Hannah Sobel, edited and hosted by me, Nicole Hill, sound designed by Trindell Lightburn, and our work has been supported by the Virginia African American Cultural Center through a grant from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. You can follow our work by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts. We couldn't do this without people brave enough to share their experiences. So thank you, Sean and Rylan Harrison.